Oh, this is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. So what are we talking about today?
Well, after our last video we did at Easter, and I had feedback from a friend. She texted me, and so I thought I would.
Somebody watched it other than Mom, and
I know, right? Okay, but she didn't watch the whole thing because she said it was too long.
We'll be shorter.
Okay, we'll be shorter. Okay. Hi, I have to tell you that your blog was long, but ... helpful.
Helpful.
Your next blog needs to be called Catholic Guilt. You bring reality to it that we get busy and miss masses, and God is okay with that. Wow, much to the dismay of the lecture of the pastor one day that almost made me get up in the middle of Mass.
Oh, I remember that.
We juggle so much, but still keep our faith first, and that is what is important, not checking off the list that you made Mass. We made Good Friday Mass, and I took the day off actually for it. Last year, someone, I'm not going to say her name, gave me a mini lecture on why I should not be working on Good Friday. People don't get that we have limited vacation days, and that I have to use some we juggle our kids' school schedules, or that they're homesick. My son was home from school on Thursday. When we hear the lectures of guilt that we should do this, or that do this or that, it makes us want to leave the strictness of the church. So anyway, thank you for your blog and the real family parts of it. We are all in this together. What I miss is a previous priest that got it.
People get off on Good Friday? Like, seriously? Employers give them the whole day off unless you work for a Catholic organization?
Or a school, because the schools here are out.
That's true. And
so
the daycares.
To recap, we talked about how we tried to make the Triduum Masses, and we did not. Neither one of us made any of them. That's my koozie.
Yes.
I know. Go Cougs.
It's hers.
Yeah, and you gave it to me. So you did. You bought that for me.
Is this the one from Canton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, anyway. So we talked about how we didn't make any of the Triduum Masses because life was hectic and got in the way.
Yeah.
And all that. And so that's what she was responding to, that it's great to have the expectations, but the reality of life sometimes is the reality of life. And how do we deal with that, and the guilt and other well-intentioned people who can say you should take off Good Friday because you shouldn't be working or whatever.
I don't think I can say on camera what I think sometimes when people say that to me. But the truth of it is that we're busy. And, so I remember this one homily. I can't remember if it was a deacon or the priest that gave it. And he said busy was being under Satan's yoke. And that really bothered me.
Really?
That really stuck with me. Because I get busy a lot. And it's not like a lot of times I don't feel like I have any control over it.
See, and I take it as a different way. So that I think that a lot of times there's like I think part of our culture celebrates the fact that who's busy. It's almost like a badge of honor. How busy are you? Well, if you have time to sit on the couch and watch a television show, or you have time to fold your laundry or do this, then obviously you're not being productive in life. You know, you have to be busy all the time. Because think about it. When's the last time you asked somebody, so how's it going? And they 9 times out of 10 be like, oh, it's crazy, it's busy, it's all hectic. It's, and so I took it as that way, that sometimes we have to just calm ourselves, and it's not about the busy.
So, all right, so bear with me, because it's the end of a long day, and I've worked probably 60 hours this week. And what did she say about she took off and she went to the Good Friday Mass. You're better than I am right there. Never been to one. Would love to go to one. I have to work. Just let's not go there. And then Catholic guilt about being late.
Oh, that Mass. Our priest did a I think he did all the Masses that week, a homily about being late and preparing yourselves before Mass, and then not leaving early. He
did it so cute.
But like, she took it a different way. So you thought it was cute, and I know some other people liked it. I know some other people didn't. So
I thought he tried to balance it really well in terms of kind of lightheartedness. He brought some kids up to the front in our Mass. He brought kids up to the front, and he had them read. And so a lot of the kids, I was at this wedding, and I had to leave early. And they were like, oh, well, you missed it. Jesus turned all the water into wine. And so little vignettes like that. And his point was, if you come in late, you're missing something. And if you leave early, you're missing something. Mm-hmm. And I felt like he was speaking to people who there are those who consistently come in during the readings, or they consistently leave. They take communion and walk out the door.
Oh, I say
that's a little bit different than. But I could see where if you're struggling to get the kids ready and you're in the door and blah blah blah, and you catch the light and your best intentions and that.
But you're right in that, especially at the second mass of the Sunday for us, you can get there right before it starts, and you look around and you think, this is not a very busy mass. And then by the time you get to communion, you're like, where do all these people come from? And the truth is, because I don't usually go to that one, but I have for other things, and the people will be all the way out into the lobby. I mean, that whole hall, you didn't know that?
In the morning?
The 1045.
No,
the
I
hallway
didn't know 1045
full.
was that busy.
They're both cry rooms, the hallway, they're all the way out into the lobby, sometimes into the community room.
No, 5 o'clock.
They come in late. It's just what happens. I mean, and it's every week, and I can't believe that many people just
well, I've told you before.
Miss the red light. You know what I mean?
I came in late, and I sat in the back, which is not my normal seat, and usually we're in the front row. I was shocked how many people left before the priest. And they received communion and they left, and the song started, and all the servers, the priests and the altar servers and the readers, the lectors, they get up in the front and they wait. Usually they wait for about.
They usually wait through a verse or so of the song, right?
Usually the first verse and the first.
Sometimes
refrain.
he waits 2. It just depends on how short the verse is.
Not usually on a Friday p.m. because it's the Life Teen Mass.
You mean a Sunday night mass?
Right.
You said Friday.
I said Friday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's a long.
It is
It's
Friday.
been a long day. And then they bow, but before they bow, while they're up there waiting for the song, half the back is gone.
Yeah.
I was looking around going, where'd everybody go?
I will say that after that weekend mass where he gave that homily, I noticed a difference.
Oh, did people start coming in earlier?
People started coming in earlier, and people stopped leaving so much early.
I didn't notice.
At least at mine, I'm at the 9, so at least at mine, people did that a little bit. So it is, but I think that when we say things about, well, you need to do this, and you should do that, and you should pray the rosary every day, and you should do. Most people say those things with the best of intentions. You know what I'm saying? But they don't always think about how. You have to think about how that person's receiving it. And I know people who've said things to me, and I know that they meant it
nicely.
Yeah. But depending on where I was, and I know that I didn't take it right. I got a little ticked off.
I think you get to choose that attitude too. I mean, you and I have talked a lot about how different books we've read on Catholic mothers. They really bother me because they're written really to the stay-at-home mom.
Most of them.
Most of them. Well, I'm thinking of the one I won't name, but
oh, I know which one.
Yeah, I know you know which one. I think I threw it at you. Here, you take this one. There were like 4 chapters, and it was, very. No, never going to happen. Sorry, it's not the life that God gave to me, and I have to be accepting of the life I do have and try to make the most of it and go for it with that. And yes, I've had times where I've run in late with the kids. I'm late most places I go.
So am I. Lent's over, so I'm late again.
So you always were.
No. But I'm still working on it. I'll always be working on it.
I'm not.
That's why they call it, practicing Catholic.
I've been working at getting to the meetings on time.
I had one last night. I wasn't on time.
In our company, if a meeting says it starts at 10:30, most people stroll in about 10:36, 10:40, and you can say, that drives me crazy, because you can say, look, I got this meeting, and they're like, no, you got to sit here and finish talking to me. And you're like, I had a meeting. Trying not to be disrespectful, but
yeah, no, I think that's a big part of it but we always have to how we present ourselves to others, and we don't know, like my friend here, the person who said that to her was very well intentioned, probably, but it hit her wrongly. I think that in her heart, she would love to be able to take off and
attend every mass,
and
there are days I wish I could just spend all my time in prayer and adoration. Maybe not all, a lot more. Yeah, I would love to go to adoration.
Okay, so do you have a random question for me this week?
No.
Really?
Yeah, did you do your homework?
Asked me if I did my homework when I was in school, and that was a long time ago.
I know the answer to that one.
Okay, so the homework was we were supposed to come up with our 5 favorite posts that each other wrote, right?
And our own. So we're supposed to come up with 10. So 5 of mine
Yeah.
and 5 of yours.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen.
Okay.
It didn't. I'm sorry. You want me to come up with one randomly off the top of my head? There's the one of my own about running into... I didn't run into them. They ran into me. Jehovah's Witnesses at Panera Bread years ago. And they kind of...
Badgered.
They surrounded me. And we actually had a very pleasant, for the most part, discussion. And they were respectful until I finally told them I was done. But, but it was an interesting experience for me. So I did write about that. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Interesting Conversation. I don't know. But I'll link to it.
It'll
so
pop
you
up.
go. What's yours?
Crickets chirping. I don't know. I mean, I've gone back recently and looked at a couple of the posts I wrote when I was pregnant with Douglas. God's call is sometimes a surprise, because if you haven't been a regular follower, I have 2 teenagers and I have a 4-year-old. And so 5 years ago, I was struggling with a not planned pregnancy. And I really had a hard time emotionally accepting that was where I was supposed to be. And now, of course, I can't imagine my life without him. He's
you and Brian. You're Brian. We're happy the girls were old enough to travel and do fun things. And
well, we had our life. We had a direction. We knew we were going. We were saving money for this, and we were looking forward to traveling and kind of the things you're doing now.
Yep.
With your
Don't
kids
say
being older. But you know what I mean. You know the stage of life I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because your youngest is
9.
4th grade, 5th grade?
4th grade.
4th grade. And so you've got all these great, exciting things. And that's where we were exactly, because my youngest was
I'm a little older than you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little. But anyway,
that is a good one.
I go back, I read the ones about when I was on maternity leave, and, the things people would say to you, oh, you need to eat more because you're eating for 2, and oh, you look like you're putting on a lot of weight and you need to stop eating. It's a contradiction of...
that's kind of like what we were just talking about with Catholic guilt and stuff, is that
I think
people say things to you and you... So that reminds me, one of my pet peeves about the internet right now is those posts you keep seeing that say 10 things not to say to whatever, right?
Working mother.
You know what I hate about those?
I can't believe you would let somebody else raise your child. Excuse me?
I'm sorry. For the most part, no, that was not a kind thing anyone should say to you, right? But for the most part, the things that people include in those top 10 things not to say to whoever, it's like, these are the things that I am most anxious about, and I just... Seriously? Daniel! Sorry, I didn't mean to scream into the microphone.
Does he know we're recording?
Yes, I'm sure he does, and he's loving every minute of it. I'm sure. He loves those pajamas. He wears them all. They're so fuzzy. Anyway, I don't like it, because it's like the things that people, I guess, because, okay, here's the thing. I've said some of those things people say not to say, and I didn't mean it in a bad way. I totally didn't. Like when you see someone who has a bunch of little kids, you're like, oh, wow, that's, because my mind is thinking, my little kids are all little, and it was crazy. And it was hard, and it was.
And your heart is full, and your hands are full.
And no, you don't always think before something funny comes out of your mouth, And
you want to say something nice.
But I get that people take things the wrong way, but those blog posts always come across to me as a big, there's a word I would use, but I'm not going to right now.
Pile of stuff at the
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say like a witchy thing, like. Anyway.
I'm sorry. It's been a really long week, and I'm just brain
Substitute the W for something else.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Different letter.
Yeah. So that kind of thing. And it just bothers me. It's one of those, quit complaining. I mean, quit worrying about what other people are,
There you go, Miss Positivity.
I just did my Strength Finders test for the first time. And we have to go because we promised short one this week.
Yes.
Or this time.
So we'll talk about
Strength Finders next time. But my number 1 was
positivity.
Yay!
It's not mine.
It is mine. It was. I read it and I'm like, that is so me.
And I have to read your version.
We'll have to go through our top 5 next time or one time after or whatever.
Yes.
So we kept it shorter this time. So I want to hear back from you. If someone, how do you struggle with the everyday in the perfect world of how things should be done, whether it's faith related, raising your kids, work, whatever? How do you struggle with the way things should be, and then the reality of our messy lives? Oh, and then we could bring up Matthew Warner's Messy and Foolish. See, life is messy, and we have to be foolish for God. Is that right?
Sort of. You're supposed to go out and make a mess.
Make a mess. Well, I make a mess all the time. And then I hire someone to come vacuum it up.
Yeah.
I know, you're not finding me funny today.
Feeling it tonight. I'm sorry.
All right. And we're losing our light. So, thank you. We'll see you later.
Bye.